Welcome back. This is Mika, and I'm coming to you with your weekly tarot forecast. If I sound tired, don't pay it no mind. I had a long night last night, but it was a good night. Nothing scandalous, I assure you. Not that my life is that interesting. Coming to you with the weekly tarot forecast for August 21st to August 27th. I'm using the Tazama Tarot again. I just really enjoy this deck. You can find this deck on Amazon and also direct from the seller. They have an IG page. I'll put it in the description box, but I've loved this deck for a while. Had it for about a year. The creator of this deck also has an oracle deck out that's also really beautiful. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start shuffling and call upon spirit and the spirit guides of those watching to come through and deliver messages for this week. Deliver clear messages for the coming week for the next consecutive 7 days. We're going to leave that one there. It's all part of the reading. Any other messages? All right. Let's just continue. Theme of the week. Beginning, middle, end, opposing themes, and your guidance. Let's address these two before we begin, since our spirits were so chatty. We have the 9 and the 10 of cups here together, and it's really a message about gratitude for the abundance that you already have, gratitude for the abundance that is already here, and being satisfied with that and finding the satisfaction, the joy, and the peace with where you are currently at, instead of focusing on an outcome that has yet to materialize and may not necessarily materialize in the way that you may be planning. Sometimes we have a fixed vision in our head of how things are supposed to be, and things don't always work out the way that we visualize or intend. So Spirit is really saying, be grateful for where you're at, what you've got, and the fact that you're here at all. And I'm getting it's also necessary to admit that things may not be perfect, but for where you are now, for what you have accomplished, for the levels you have reached in life, despite all that's happened before, you are in a better place than you may think, see, or feel at this time. So this is a good message to start off the week with. Now we get into these shenanigans here. Well, they're not shenanigans, but you get the idea. Theme of the week, Page of Wands. What's leading you at this point? We've got a lot going on in the stars. There's also a lot going on in the world. Like literally Half the country is burning, another part of it is flooding, somewhere in the world is burning and flooding. Scandal, scandal, scandal. It's a lot going on. But where is your focus? What are you leaning on in order to keep you grounded so that you can focus on the things that matter? Yes, food, shelter, clothing, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that is well and good. But what are you really focusing on to bring you to that place of satisfaction, that place of peace, right? I'm getting a theme of people looking for money or increasing their income so they can have peace. It's not merely to have money to buy whatever you want. It's having the money to access the resources to create circumstances where you don't have to rely on outside sources in order to be peaceful or to get what you need to have your needs met, not just material needs, but emotional, spiritual, mental. So the theme being presented to us here is what does your support system look like so you can continue to focus on these things that are happening, that you're trying to generate and create and establish. And by support system, I don't mean just the people, but your habits, your routines, the things that you do when you get up, the things you do when you go to bed. Throughout the day, do you work out? How much water do you drink? How many books do you read on the subject that you're trying to elevate yourself in? Things like that. In the beginning of the week, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Slow your roll. Be patient. Rome was not built in a day, even though it seemed like it. Even though it fell in a day. Work towards your goals with patience is the message I'm being given. Yes, there are a lot of things we want to accomplish. There is, I know there's a sense of urgency around certain groups. They feel like the shit is about to go down. They're not entirely wrong, but there are still things to be done in your immediate life. We can't control the future, but we can control our role in it and our circumstances. So we're being told to really have some patience, most of all with ourselves, then the world at large, as we work this week. There's going to be some big themes and things happening, and you're gonna need to walk with some grace through this, one step at a time, one day at a time type of deal. Any plans that you have, take it slow. You're not going to reach the outcome right away, and the outcome may not be what you initially planned for once again. So demonstrate some patience, one step at a time. Save money. We have Jupiter getting ready to station retrograde, and when Jupiter goes retrograde, everybody starts freaking out about their money. Mind your resources and give yourself a budget. Give yourself some guardrails with your spending this week. Is it this week that going retrograde? Yes, it is. Shit, I think it's even Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not an astrologer. Please Google. Next, we have the Two of Pentacles. Balance, balance, balance. Not just the material stuff, but also your spiritual and your emotional, mental needs. Go with the flow. especially if you're struggling with work-life balance. You don't need to bring home work with you or keep working beyond what is necessary at the end of the day. If you're like me and you work remote and you feel like you can't get away, yes, you can. It's called a hard stop. Do with that what you will. But really, and half joking aside, examine what's off balance and how you can bring it in balance. Examine what's too heavy and drop it so you can balance yourself out with something that's more beneficial to you. Ooh, excuse me. I had Shake Shack today. And also, what you can't control, let it go and let it flow. Let it go, let it flow, and focus on what's directly in front of you. Really piggybacking off our Knight of Pentacles message, focus on your plan, but take it one day at a time. Staying balanced helps you stay focused, is another message that I just got. Staying balanced helps you stay focused. So anything you know you're not supposed to be carrying, drop it. If you have to carry it, find ways to mitigate the negative effects of it so that you don't become overwhelmed and either drop everything in a desire to find relief, or worse, carry even more and find yourself broken down. At the end of the week, we have Temperance. Once again, bringing that moderation and that balance. There's a gentleness in this card saying you made it to the end of the week. Now, restore yourself in the areas of your life that you may have struggled with over the last 7 days. There's also an accountability message with what are you filling your life with? What are you creating? What are you sustaining? How connected are you to your own needs and desires? Is your cup full enough to pour into those things, or are you running on empty? The visuals of this card is giving what do you want, and how do you intend to mold yourself and fill yourself and shape yourself and nourish yourself into the person who has those things. As we know, major arcana cards cover the grander scope of our lives. So with the message that we received earlier in the week, we're really, really, really being dragged into being accountable for the circumstances that we're creating for ourselves, and get real and get clear about the things that we're doing and how they align with the lives that we say we desire. If we desire to be wealthier, are you doing the things that a wealthy person does? And I don't mean just invest and stock the stock market or anything, but what are their daily habits? What do they eat? Where do they go? How do they dress? How do they travel? Those things. And incorporate those things into your life. For opposing forces, we have the Fool. It's not necessarily giving an opposing or imposing or obstacle. It's more like shit or get off the pot. The risk you don't take is the opportunity that you miss. And if you're holding back from taking the risk, from taking the opportunity, you're actually denying yourself the elevation, the evolution, the growth that you say you desire. So they're basically also, who are you listening to? Who's in your circle that's talking to you or giving you ideas? Really, really, really get honest with yourself and the current situation that you're in. If you desire it bad enough, you will take the risk and the opportunities that will get you closer to it. And you won't allow the opinions of others to stop you. Basically, shit or get off the pot. And you don't need much to get to where you're going. What you have is already enough from where you're at, and starting with where you're at. So if you really, really, really desire it bad enough, what you've already got is sufficient. Back to our 9 and 10 of Pentacles message that jumped out earlier. Be satisfied. Be grateful for what you already have. Be grateful for what's already here, because it's enough to get you to where you're going. And if you try to spend time accumulating more before you get started, you're not gonna end up getting to where it is that you need to be or desire to be. And our guidance for this week, the King of Swords. Once again, get honest, get clear, and get decisive and take action. The longer you wait, the longer you say, when I have XYZ, or when I feel XYZ, or until I ABC, I'm not gonna do it, or when I feel like I have enough of whatever, then I'll start. You're going to be holding yourself back. Start with what you've got. Get clear about your plans, your habits, your lifestyle, and take action. Yes, there's a fuck it element to this, but it's more to yourself than to other people. In fact, other people shouldn't even be a factor at this point, because the things that we say we want, we have more than enough to bring them into our lives, to achieve them. We just need to get up and actually do the work. And we are armed with the knowledge and the resources already, as we are, to be able to get ourselves to the place that we desire to be. And that is our weekly tarot forecast. I'm being pulled to draw an oracle card, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna grab the animal Apothecary, which I enjoy using. What additional messages the Spirit and our collective spirit guides want us to have this time? Additional messages. Have for us, Great Spirit, Collective Spirit Guides, come through. and 1. The card we got, Face Your Fear. It's always going to be the things you don't necessarily want to do and the things that you keep putting off that will be the key to manifesting, bringing in, achieving the things that you desire. You don't want to start the YouTube channel because you don't like YouTube. Guess what? You got to do it. You're afraid of being sore from working out. Guess what? You got to do it. You're afraid of being seen. Guess what? You're seen every time you leave your house, every time you post your selfies and your reels on TikTok or the gram. You're afraid of the comment section on the internet. Oh well, you got to do it. You have to face your fears, especially your fears of failure and your fear of success. The only way through is through. And that is our, let me put this here. That is our weekly tarot forecast. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. I'll put all the info on these decks in the description box. If you want a personal reading with me, that info will also be in the description box. And until next time, be well.